Hi, I'm Michael Smith for Health Talk, and tonight a very exciting show. I have Jayme Royce, Gomes?
Yes.
Oh, I said it right. Okay. And she's a Radon Education Coordinator. Can't get any more exciting than that. and Nevada Radon Education Program. And I guess about 3 years ago, I found out my house had a problem. It tested twice the level of safe radon.
Okay.
And being a male of sometimes macho, thinking I can be tougher than anything, you can't be tougher than radon. Can you explain what radon is?
Yeah, radon is a colorless, odorless, tasteless, radioactive gas.
Radioactive gas.
And it comes out of the earth naturally from uranium. It can accumulate in your home and it can cause lung cancer. So it's great that you tested and great that you fixed your home. You fixed your home, right?
It was mitigated, and it's a pretty serious process. We can go into that a little bit later in the show. But what happened was they first brought the machine for testing, right? So, but you also had one where somebody could test it themselves. Mine, because it was a special, I think, a HUD program, they brought in their fancy machine for 3 days, I think it was.
Okay.
But I was at a lecture the other day, and you were giving out these that you can help people obtain.
Yeah, so these are test kits. We will be selling these March 1st and on for $7. And this is a short-term test kit. It is we recommend using it for 3 days. We recommend opening up the test kit. So this particular test kit, you would open up the plastic and then take out the pouch and put it paper side up. We recommend testing from Friday to Monday, and then on Monday, you include the test kit along with the completed data sheet into the mailer, and then you'd mail it that day.
Now, does that go to your house?
It doesn't.
So it's full of radon?
It actually goes to the lab this particular lab is in Texas, and then they'll analyze it, and in about 2 weeks, they'll send you back the results.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that serious.
Yeah, it's much cheaper to buy a test kit through the Nevada Radon Education Program versus buying a kit at a Lowe's or Home Depot type of store. After everything is said and done, they end up charging you for the kit and for the postage and the lab analysis, and it ends up being up to $30 or $40.
Oh, wow. Well, how can people get a hold of you to obtain this kit?
So they can actually either visit our website, www.radonnv.com, or they can call us on our hotline, 1-888-RADON-10.
Now we'll kind of get into why this is so serious.
Sure.
I just said how you can do your own testing, but what types of buildings contain radon?
So we actually have this saying, there are only 3 types of buildings that do not have a potential for a problem for radon. And those homes are a house on stilts, a mobile home without the skirting, and then we joke like a tree house.
That doesn't sound like many people.
Yeah. So every other home has the potential for a radon problem. So it doesn't matter if your home has a basement or a crawl space, is on slab. It doesn't matter. Any home can have that potential for a radon problem.
I had bad information. I had a house in Gardnerville that was on a slab, and they said it was fine.
Oh, yeah.
They lied again.
Yeah.
Any home. It was a brand new home. We just heard about things you should talk to the realtor about from being new to the area, because we came down from Tahoe. And Tahoe, we're on a big rock, so everybody pretty much has a chance of having radon. But here they said, don't worry about it. But when I taped the radon lecture that you all held about a month ago, I guess, at the TRP offices, it said something about, was I right, about 39 to 49% of people in Douglas County or this region have potential of having radon?
Well, actually, in the state of Nevada, 1 out of 4 homes has elevated radon concentrations.
Well, that's 25%.
Yeah, 26%.
26%.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about a small potential problem. It's worth your family to check this out, because another thing I think it stuck in my mind, it's like your kids smoking a half a pack of cigarettes a day.
Yeah, so the EPA, they have an action level. So if your home is at a yearly average of 4 picocuries per liter of air, and picocuries is just a measurement of how much radioactivity is found per 1 liter of air. So if your home is at a yearly average of 4, then the risk of you developing lung cancer is the same as somebody who smokes about half a pack of cigarettes a day.
And I think I said mine was 8.
Yours was 8, yeah.
And that was picocurie?
Picocurie.
Picocurie. bad pico-curing. But anyways, it scared us because we thought we were just doing it for kind of an education thing for my public access shows, and it turned out we had a problem.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. A lot of people think, hey, you know what, my home is new, it's not going to have a problem. If your home is old or new, well-sealed, drafty, any home has that potential. And so radon comes from uranium, found naturally in the rocks and the soil and the water. And there's a lot of naturally occurring granite up in Tahoe, and uranium is found in higher concentrations in granite, shale, and phosphates. And so a lot of those homes in Tahoe, they tend to have more of a radon problem. But, it doesn't mean that the homes in the valleys don't have a problem, because they can have a problem too.
Well, that's awesome. Now, let's get back to the next one. It was just getting more serious now. How does radon affect people's health?
So it can cause lung cancer. A lot of people don't realize that actually lung cancer kills more than any other cancer out there.
Well, another stat I picked up in my head, your lecture the other night was so good. Am I right? Did I hear 7,000 to 25 or 30,000 people a year have lung cancer affected by radon?
It's estimated about 21,000 people.
Because I remember as a kid, my best friend's dad died of lung cancer, and he didn't smoke or anything. We just thought, we didn't know.
Yeah.
It was just a fate thing. So now I'm thinking, well, maybe other people's healths are being affected by radon that we didn't know.
It could be radon. If somebody dies from lung cancer, it could be due to radon, secondhand smoke, asbestos, environmental factors. But the estimated amount of people in the U.S. that die each year from radon is about 21,000 people.
Wow. Well, how did you find out about it? You're so young.
The very first time that I found out about radon, it was in college. I was taking a geographical information systems class, and the professor was talking about radon, and so I learned about it there.
Was that the professor I met the other night? He was from Wyoming or someplace?
No, that's somebody else.
But it seemed like he was one of the people that might have even been involved with the discovery of it or something.
Yeah.
And he found out that his family was living on a quagmire of pico stuff.
Very, very high levels.
And he scared the heck out of him, and I was kind of glad that he was part of the University of Nevada's program, because he seemed like he was very emotional about how he was involved with this program, and then brought it here. I don't know how he happened to move to Nevada, but I was glad to see his expertise.
Yeah, he's the radiation physicist Adrian Howe, who gave that presentation. He actually, he knows a lot. I think over 30 years he's been involved in it, and so
we'll
very knowledgeable.
Yeah, we'll have the health lecture on YouTube, Nevada Trails, as far as what we're talking to on the what lecture of radon. Now, when people start paying, if they pay attention to this, they're probably going to call you right away. I would. If I have a kid that's being exposed to half a pack of cigarettes a day, I'd probably want to know if I'm going to move or not. Because no offense, if I couldn't feel comfortable where I live, I would get the heck out of there. But so can they call you or email you? Will you be handling the problems or the education?
So yes, me, myself, and Susan Howe, our program director, will be there taking the phone calls from the hotline, and we are the Nevada Radon Education Program.
Well, hopefully you'll be getting some calls from the lecture we showed as well as this show, because this is a lot more serious than I can even tell you.
Yeah.
And once it comes to becoming your home, it's a high level. Let's see. Can you test radon yourself? I think we talked about that for your sample kit, and I think we talked about how to use a sample kit. And then, again, could you repeat what does a radon test results mean?
So
I remember you said something about 4. If you had a 4 and under, that means you don't have a problem?
So actually, if you were to use this test kit and the short-term test kit, and you got under a 4, and you tested during the winter time, there's no problem. However, if you tested during the summertime, we recommend that you test during the wintertime. Radon levels tend to be higher during the wintertime and lower during the summertime. They're constantly fluctuating.
Why would that be?
Well, when during the radon levels, they depend upon barometric pressure, temperature, wind, the way that you live, the season. Let's see, when you close up your doors and windows in your house during the wintertime, that helps seal in the air in your home.
So you'd have a higher reading because you're not flowing the air out.
And even the weather can play a part in this. Let's say that you have snow outside and there's a layer of snow on the ground. Usually that radon might go through the area where the snow is covering, but since the snow is covering that area, then the radon follows the path of least resistance, and it could go into your home instead.
That makes sense,
so,
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no extra
Layering
mulch or anything.
Block or...
Well, that's wild.
Well, and so if somebody has a level between 4 and 8, that represents that they have a possible radon problem. And so in those cases, then we recommend somebody uses a long-term test kit. And this long-term test kit, it doesn't look like this. It's much smaller, but it's actually used for 3 months to 1 year. And it gives you a better average of what your radon levels are. So radon, it fluctuates constantly. It fluctuates year to year, seasonally, monthly, weekly, daily, even hourly. Radon levels go up and down.
Well,
and so, yeah, that long-term test kit can actually give you a better average of what your
That's
radon
where I
is.
lost you at the lecture. All of our things that my wife and I did was in a short term where we had a 3-day test, and then with the 8 level, I just said, let's go ahead and go to mitigation. And then I think one of the people actually in the audience did say the same question. You're talking about a year test? That's not going to affect your health, or are you just better to know exactly where you're at first?
So the only time that you would use the year-long test is when you're between a level 4 and 8. And remember, radon levels are constantly fluctuating.
Okay.
And so it gives you a better average of what that year is. When you have a level of above 8, then that's when we recommend using another short-term test kit to confirm the first results. Then you average those 2 results, and if it's still above 4, then we recommend fixing your home.
Wow, this is a lot. She knows what she's talking about. Well, we're going to go to a break first, but Jayme brought a PSA. Could you tell us what we're going to see?
It's just a PSA, just notifying people about what radon is and where to get a free test kit.
Excellent. A little bit of reinforcement.
Or not a free test kit, sorry, a test kit that you can buy. Sorry.
We'll be back in a minute. Thank you very much.
A killer could be in your home, threatening your family, and you wouldn't even know it. That killer is radon, an odorless, colorless, naturally occurring radioactive gas that's the #1 cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. But with a simple test, radon problems can be detected, fixed, and your family protected. Call, click, or stop by one of our offices for your radon test kit. Radon is a health risk that's preventable, so test for it today.
Hi, we're back to Health Talk with Jayme of the Nevada Cooperative Extension up at University of Reno, or University of Nevada.
Yeah.
Now, I was curious, we're talking about, you can go, if you live in Douglas County, and pick up a free test kit.
Yeah, so Douglas County residents receive free test kits year-round because the extension educator in Douglas County has actually paid for those kits. Free test kits are available to all Nevada residents from December 1st through the end of February.
Well, that's awesome.
After that, then the other residents of other counties other than Douglas, they have to pay for a kit for $7.
Well, like we were saying, a break, it's actually to me too, even though I have to use the big fancy meter for the initial test, $7 is not a whole lot to find out if you have a problem or not.
Yeah, and again, it is cheaper to buy a test kit through us versus buying a test kit at your local hardware store.
So, anyways, they can go to the University of Nevada Cooperative Extension here in Douglas County and pick one up. I think it's by Lampe Park.
Yeah, it's across the street from Lampe Park.
Yeah, Steve Lewis, give him a call, tell him that you heard it on Health Talk. So,
Definitely.
Free is good. We like that here because we want people to be safe, and that's why we're doing the show. Because one, I found that I and my wife were in a dangerous situation, and we have family and friends come over. We don't want to be distracted by simple things like that. My mom visiting from Florida. I mean, it sounds silly, but all of a sudden you're thinking about the air. And I used to think about the air as being outside air. Now you think about what's coming out of your own ground.
Yeah.
And again, I was scared when you said 25% of Nevada has a radon potential problem.
Actually, 26%.
26%.
It's 1 out of 4 homes, but our statistics say 26% homes that have been tested found elevated radon levels.
Now, in your job, are you going from county to county to help sell that there's a problem in Nevada, or tell people there's a problem for, like you did up when I met you at up at the TRPA offices, the lecture?
Yeah, we unfortunately, there's only 2 of us in the program, so we can't go to every single county in the state, but we do concentrate on, the more populated areas and the areas that have problems for radon.
Well, I think with the level of stats you're talking about, this public awareness should be a good thing for that you guys are doing, because it gets scarier as you're talking about all these problems. Again, what, 7,000 to 25,000 people have lung cancer a year, and that's just scary stuff. And it's in every state too.
It is. I mean, radon isn't just here in the state of Nevada. It's all over the world. It's all over the nation. So it's
Well,
it's
when
everywhere.
I was at your lecture, you gave me a book, a radon guide for tenants. And I assume that means people, apartments, or as well as living in a rental home. Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting. And then a consumer's guide to radon reduction. And these are really good reads. You can get a lot of self-education. And then the third one I got was home buyers and sellers guide to radon. And in a market like Tahoe and Douglas County, we do a lot in real estate, so it might not be a bad thing to see if you have mitigation in your home.
Yeah.
But where I was going with, you can get these through, would you say, the
EPA's website,
Okay.
www.epa.gov/radon.
right, because I think right now we're about getting people education, and then you can probably, they can call you and send you to other information. Is there a website or anything do you know about?
Definitely, yeah. www.radonnv.com, or you can even call us on our hotline, 1-888-RADON10.
Is that a way we can find out if you're going to do more lectures in the future too?
Yeah.
Do you have like a thing where you can tell where you're going to be at?
Well, typically we have our big push during January.
Okay.
January is National Radon Action Month, and that's where we educate Nevadans about radon, offer free test kits, talk to them about health effects and how to fix your home. But we do some presentations at local civic groups, but if you just give us a call, 1-888-RADON10, you can find out more information.
So if I'm an elk and a moose, which I am, I can call you up and want you to do a presentation for my club?
Yeah.
I like that. I like this. We're getting, and then you bring the free test kits?
Yep.
People get you a burger and a beer. So that's great, because like I said, the more knowledge, the more you're safe with this program. And you were talking also about radon, and you said, I was going to ask you, what's the strangest question you've had during this program?
Actually the most interesting question that we get is, so we know that radon comes from uranium, and uranium is found in higher concentrations in granite, shale, and phosphates. And so then people wonder, well, what about the granite countertops in my home? Do I have to worry about radon coming from those? And it's a great question to ask. And radon does come from your granite countertops, but it only emanates about inches off of the surface of your granite countertops. So you basically have to be sleeping on your granite countertops to get radon-induced lung cancer from your granite countertops. And so I tell people that, and then also tell them that,
So the cat better get down.
Yeah.
I tell my mother-in-law, get off your granite countertops. She loves them.
Some people actually still aren't comfortable with that information. And then I tell them, you know what, I personally have granite countertops in my home.
Awesome.
So, yeah,
I
so don't
love
get
them.
rid of your granite countertops.
Yeah, I love them. I just think that's a good question too, because who
Yeah.
knows what's in your rocks at home? Mm-hmm. Someone invented the geode by cutting it in half. All of a sudden, whoa, it's pretty inside.
Yeah.
Well, did you have to take a lot of geology and study the earth and things for your degree, getting this study knowledge?
No, I learned a lot on the job, definitely. I learned a lot from our program director, Susan Howe, and from Adrian Howe, the radiation physicist who spoke at that presentation.
Yes, he's definitely
He's very
scary.
knowledgeable. Yeah.
I mean, he says it, and then you think, "Wow, that's coming from somebody he really had a hard time with his family." And
Yeah.
he said, probably would ask a question I asked you at break, or maybe before, where he was really considering moving. It was so serious at his home. I forget what he did, but you're saying probably be smarter to just do mitigation and take care of your home and not worry about moving and things.
Yeah, a lot of people think, oh, my home has a radon problem, I have to move. No, that's not the case at all. It is fixable. You can fix a home that has a radon problem.
Well, let me see if I'm explaining this right. My house, there's a crawl space.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, 2.5 feet, whatever crawl space is. They sealed it off with plastic, and then they funneled, except for a hole that goes into a pipe, where they had like a vacuum outside, or like it's a little fan that puts the pressure from under the baggie up through the chimney, which is above my roof. And that's probably the only negative about my mitigation is it's kind of by my bedroom window, and it kind of sounds like a toilet running.
Well, actually,
But you know it's on.
so to clarify this, mitigators put polyethylene sheeting down over the dirt within your crawl space.
Correct.
And they seal it with a polyurethane caulking.
Forgot the sealing, but everything's sealed.
Yeah, the edges and the seams, they seal it, and it makes a membrane. It traps all that radon and the soil gases underneath that membrane. And then there is a perforated pipe underneath that membrane.
There's a pipe underneath? Mm-hmm. Did not know that.
It's hooked up to a piping system with an exhaust fan at the end. And that exhaust fan runs 24 hours a day, which is that noise that you're saying.
Yes, and actually after the our lecture, I opened up the window and make sure it was still running. It wasn't loud enough anymore. I wanted to know it was running. So
Yeah.
I'm still get used to a sound. But
there should be like a manometer or a U-tube or some sort of pressure gauge to make sure that the system's working.
well,
And-
what we have in our places are as it's like a meter that's plugged in that I don't know how it gets the meter, but it shows what the level is in the house or whatever, that things are working.
you have something that plugs into your outlet.
Yeah.
So
And it says what the level is that you're safe, and there's like a safe zone or a bad zone, or if it's not working, I don't know.
that's for radon.
Yeah.
So actually, we don't recommend using those.
This was 3 years ago. On the job training.
So that type of machine, the reason why we don't recommend that people use those is because you can't calibrate it, so we don't know if it's reading you the correct amount. So we would actually recommend that you get a radon test kit and test your home and make sure that it's working.
So I should test my home even after, because I don't know, well, they had to test it after it was mitigated, right?
Yeah, so we tell people that we recommend testing your home 24 hours after the mitigation, and then make sure that you test every 2 years afterwards. We live in a very seismically active area, and so earthquakes can produce new fissures or new pathways for that radon to get into your home. And so we just want to make sure that nothing is shifted and that your radon levels are still low and that your mitigation system's working.
Well, that's a good point, because we've had some, I think for sure we've had a plumber underneath the house and maybe critters, I don't know. So that's good to know.
We'll get you a test kit.
I'll have to make sure you come over and check out my stuff, because I think also I told you about it, it's flushed out kind of above. I don't know how that affects my neighbors.
Well,
I'll take a picture next time and show it to you.
Yeah, so the piping system should be above your roof eave or your roof line. And so there's certain standards at what level and how far up. Your pipe should not be expelling underneath a window, simply because the radon levels are coming out in the thousands in the picocuries, and you don't want those thousands worth of picocuries coming out into your
I love that
your window.
word. Well, how does it dissipate when it's outside? Is it, because my neighbor's house is almost straight from where that chimney is. He wouldn't go into his window, would it?
No, I mean it just dissipates into the atmosphere.
Oh, okay.
So radon is coming out naturally out of the earth, and then if you stick a building over that, then it can accumulate in the home.
Well, the man who put it in for me, is it okay if I plug his company?
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, his name is Jim Gorman, and he does. He was at the lecture, by the way, and he does mitigation for this region. Actually, I think he said Douglas County too. So you might want to give him a call, and it's 530-545-8808, and he's an environmental inspector and does construction. He put our system in, and tell you what, it took care of a lot of stress.
And there's actually 3 certified radon mitigators within the state of Nevada.
You had one there who talked about it. You can give out his name if you want.
So the other 2, their names are Norm Denny and Derek Carpenter.
Because they can probably help with peripheral information, if you're out there.
Yeah. And so we actually have a list of those mitigators on our website, www.radonnv.com. We recommend only going through these certified radon mitigators.
He is really good, and there's a lot of training that was involved in what he had to go through to be qualified. Because he was also involved with asbestos and other things. You got to get the right training, because someone mentioned the do-it-yourself kit. I wouldn't recommend that. I don't know how that family could be relaxing unless it's done by an expert.
Well, some people they are inclined to do that type of work in their home, and so there is a do-it-yourself book. It's at local libraries, or you can buy it from us for $25.
Okay.
And they can fix their home if they'd like. Some people aren't comfortable with that, and so then they'll go with the certified radon mitigator.
Well, maybe they could have Jim come over and check their work, just to double check. We're down to our last minute. If there's any contact information you want to give out, or any things you want to tell the people out there, what what we've been talking about?
Sure. Again, our website is www.radonnv.com. Our hotline is 1-888-RADON-10. And you can give us a call, Susan or myself, and we can answer any questions and point you in the right direction.
And again, Douglas County is free to pick up your test kits, so I'd recommend doing it. And like I said, I first did this for a public access show, just thinking that would be legal. And as it turns out, our house was twice the level. So by having it mitigated, it takes away a lot of stress. So it's been Michael Smith for Health Talk, and thank you. What a great job you did.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to further education in the future. Thank you very much. Get tested.